But we need to find out what happened here.
Oh, I did not do anything to hurt her.
You didn't do anything to aid her death,
No.
but you didn't do anything to stop her from dying.
I really didn't. I mean, I just watched it happen.
In 1998, 48-year-old Mark Jensen was a husband and father from a sleepy suburb in southern Wisconsin, just north of the Illinois border. Mark picked up the boys at school. When he got home, he found Julie in bed, on her stomach, under the covers. He probably assumed she was taking a nap since she was under the weather, but when he got closer to her, he realized she wasn't breathing, so he called 911. When the EMTs and the police arrived, Mark was really upset. He took them to his and Julie's bedroom, where Julie was lying unresponsive under the covers. It was clear that Julie had been dead for a while. There was no resuscitating her, but something really stood out as weird. Her arm was tucked under her body. Her body also had no wounds on it. So the officers asked Mark if he had any idea what had happened. He told them that Julie had been feeling pretty sick for the past few days and she was taking Ambien to help her sleep. He'd even seen the bottle sitting out on the kitchen counter, so it looked like she might have taken some that day. On top of that, she'd also recently gone on her antidepressants, so there were a lot of drugs in her system that were new to her. He also told them that not only had she been depressed for months, but that she hadn't really been eating much or sleeping well. So at face value, it appeared that Julie had taken her own life. There was no note, but it was what the evidence pointed to, that Julie might have mixed the pills on purpose because she'd wanted to die. Mark gave the police permission to search the home and confirm their theory. He was noticeably upset and just wanted answers, so the police gathered all of the evidence they could, including the family computer. Mark was the main person who used it the most. He loved his computer. A lot of the time, he'd come home from work and just go to the computer room for hours. Anyway, it turned out Mark had been sending some pretty scandalous emails to one of his coworkers, Kelly Labonte. They also saw some disturbing internet searches on there, like drug interactions with poisons, including antifreeze. And as we all know, antifreeze is one of those things that's incredibly dangerous, even though it's readily available to anyone. If someone drinks it, at first they might just feel a little tipsy, kind of like having a few glasses of wine. But that's where it gets really scary, because it might not feel like you're dying, but that's exactly what's happening. A person could drink a little antifreeze without even realizing it, and if they swallow enough of it, they will die. As soon as the police saw that Google search, they tested Julie's blood again, but this time they specifically checked for the presence of antifreeze, which they hadn't been testing for the first time around. Sure enough, the results came back and there were traces of antifreeze in her blood. Not huge amounts, just traces. Here's why that's important. If Julie really had taken her own life, you'd expect her to drink a whole lot of antifreeze all at once. Why risk the chance that she took less than a fatal amount? If there were just traces in her blood, just these small amounts, that wasn't consistent with side.